Welcome, everybody. Would somebody like to make a motion to begin?
I
I'll
will.
make a motion to open.
Oh, all right, I'll support.
Okay, roll call. Should I do that now? The secretary usually does it, but you want me to do it?
Either one of you, it doesn't matter.
Okay, go ahead. Will you take roll, please? Thank you.
All right, Kate,
Here.
Dennis, Joe,
Present.
Brad,
Present.
Robert,
Present.
Smith,
Present.
John Jones, Kathy,
Here.
Robert Cox,
Here.
Sue, here, Jennifer, here, Mark.
Present.
Roll's been taken.
Okay, before we approve the minutes, there's just a few fixes that need to be made. Joe needs to be taken from in attendance. And then for motion to begin, it said Commissioner Johnson. So that needs to be changed to, I'm guessing it was
Probably John. Probably Jones.
well, it was seconded by Commissioner Jones. So we need a first.
My name starts with a J, so I'll go ahead and take that.
All right. All right. Fill that in there. Okay, any other comments about the minutes?
How come mine say Joe was absent?
He was.
Yeah, but he's also in attendance.
It was just, he's doubly listed.
Mark rolls his eyes at himself.
Anything, any other comments? Okay. Do we need to make a motion now to approve them, Mark? Okay, somebody want to make a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve with the edits.
There's actually one thing, like there's a statement that was referenced in here that I had apparently made, and it wasn't to have the trees trimmed at Florence and Dillon, it was to have them removed because they're growing through the fence.
Just to fill Brad in, there's a park entrance right on Florence right there. And the commissioners have been vocal lately, just that it is sad looking, so rough over there. So that's what she's referencing.
Okay, we have a work order for that already in process, so,
Thank you.
Great.
It's already done. Oh, wait,
in
on,
process.
Florence and Dillon. I was thinking the Hubbard one.
Technically, Dylan doesn't go all the way through, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what we were
Yeah, this is
using
Manor.
it for.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with the edits as stated, taking Joe Bandy off of the in attendance and to, for Commissioner Darren's specific in regarding to the taking the trees down and the ones that are growing through the fence.
And then Commissioner Johnson.
And as well as the motion to begin by Commissioner Johnson should be striked and should say Commissioner Jen McDonald. Is that who is taking it? McConnell? I'm
McConnell.
sorry. I'm so sorry, Jen.
okay.
Call me whatever you want.
Somebody need to second it?
I'll second.
Okay, Karen, Kathy, me.
Okay, all right. Financial reports.
All in favor?
Oh,
Uh-huh,
all in favor?
Yeah.
Hey, you have to.
Yeah,
everyone
you
has
do.
to approve it.
All right.
aye.
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 Any objections? Hearing none, moving on. Okay. Financial reports. Brad, would you like to touch on what you...
Sure, absolutely. So I've been working with Brian and Tim a little bit about the financial reports, and I know what Dan had brought in previously, and he would kind of go through on a line-by-line item. We're going to try to work with Brian to make it more of a easier to read document, so you guys can still see everything, but then that way it's a little bit more cut and dry, so then that way there's not a lot of busyness to it. So today I can report to you right now, currently our expenditures are at 43% out of the 50%, at the 50% mark of our budget. And then in regards to revenues, we're at 44%, and that's just based on
currently at 50%, halfway through the year, I'm sorry, not 50%. So with the revenues, we see a lot of revenue come in for the summertime for our softball leagues, and we'll see a little bit of a rise from that to get it back up to where it needs to be. So that's what I have to report for financials right now.
Okay. Any comments or questions regarding financials from anybody?
When do you expect the first round of, so like next time we come in, have some budgets?
Yeah,
I mean, I know it might take a while to work those up, but I
Yep.
think we can get them next week, or next time we meet.
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to program reports. Program reports 8, skate with Anna and Elsa.
Yep, we just had this past Sunday, and it was an extremely great event for us. It was my first one, so I was there just kind of help out and make sure things went well. We had a line out the door pretty much to the parking lot almost, and we had roughly about, I'd say everywhere from 250 to 300 people. We had 150 people pay for just rentals. So, and we actually ran out of rentals during that time period, so we ended up having to work with the rest of the participants coming through, and we actually let them all come in for free because we didn't want them to miss out on the program. So they were at least able to meet with Anna and Elsa and also do our craft. We had probably about a dozen that were able to still get skates to rent once the program started because people were bringing their skates back after they were done. So it was a really great program. We thought it was really successful, and we just look forward to doing more of that stuff in the future.
Do you think you'll buy more skates?
Yes, we've already looked into, I have Matt, our recreation coordinator, going through our rentals right now of where we can replenish and be strategic on the sizes to not go size 14 for adults, but maybe go for the kids sizes that we usually give out to buy more of those, so then that way we're buying more of things we actually do use.
Great.
Mhm.
And then B, moving on to B.
Yeah, Santa Ride, I was here and present for that as well. Just kind of volunteering to see how the event goes, and so I'm prepared for next year. After talking with Doc, we seemed to have the idea of maybe having Santa stop somewhere to kind of maybe visit with kids, if that's a possibility, to kind of maybe break up the trip, to kind of have like little landmarks for everybody. So we're going to talk a little bit more further about that to kind of get a game plan and see if we can get that started.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Comments or questions about
Yeah, it was really nice. They came down Marquette. There was quite a few people I noticed that was out on the street this time.
Yeah, my kids really liked it.
Yeah.
They were even walking up. I started to sell stuff, you know, popping.
Mhm.
No, I understand he's got the best grass in Kansas.
All right. All right. All right. Good to know.
Any other comments or questions about program reports? Okay, moving on to old business.
All right.
DNR grant.
DNR grant. Just a little update on this. I've been working with Tim because he was on board when this was kind of going through the process. Currently, we're theoretically approved, but we have to go through the federal process, and they go through and they evaluate and nominate the final say on it. So that's where we're at with that process right now. We're thinking positively towards this to think that we have it, and there hasn't been anything that has told us otherwise. So we just have to get through the rest of the process, and once we find out that we have it officially, we'll kind of move forward with that.
Do they give you a timeline or like a deadline where they are gonna finalize it?
Not yet. So I can give them a call and see if there's any possibilities of getting a timeline to kind of report back to you guys.
How much is that
I'm
for?
so curious, it's been forever.
I'm sorry?
How much is that for?
That one was, I think it was a match. It was for a match of 250, I believe. But I'll have to get the final numbers on
So it'll be
that.
500 total?
I believe so, yes.
It was a smaller one, I think, the land and water one.
Yes.
Was
Right.
the second one.
Yeah. There was a match on it, I know of.
Right, I think both of them did.
How long does it take? Like after if they say yes?
When they
Yeah,
say
I'm just
yes.
curious, like for the process, you know, does it how long?
You know,
Till we
I'll
can
have-
like start planning or,
Yeah, I'll have to investigate that and find that out, that
Okay.
answer for you.
do you have a lot of experience with grants?
It's limited.
Typically, federal grants can take up to 6 months,
All right.
especially in a bidding process like how ours is, where they had to grade it and stuff like that.
Right.
So,
It's been a long time.
yeah, it has.
What was it, October? Was when we were,
No, even
October,
before that, I
wasn't it?
think.
Thought October or November.
yeah,
I
that
think
was
they
October
released
too.
it. Didn't
We
they
were supposed
release
to
it in
know in
October?
November.
They released the grant, like the grant opportunity, like opened it up in October. I think, because
Yeah, I think
it moved really quickly in terms of, oh, hey, by the way, we're going to write for this grant. So it was a very quick process. So,
We were supposed to find out, I think, the beginning of November is when they were supposed to let us know whether or not we'd been completely denied, I believe.
correct.
I
And
hope
also what we had to touch up on our grants
Right,
as well.
yeah,
So
so, yeah.
score.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope
So I
that
think we're doing pretty
grants are
good.
something that Parks and Recs can really go after,
Oh, yeah,
you know, in the future.
absolutely.
Felt like my first few years on the commission, there wasn't any because we didn't have the master plan. So now that we finally have it, I would love to see
Absolutely.
that become
Yep.
a yearly thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, any comments or questions about that? Okay, moving on to old business B.
All right, to-do list. Tim had kind of formulated a to-do list for me to accomplish from your guys' previous meeting. So I wanted to kind of lay it out so then that way you guys knew what has been completed and what's in process. In regards to the soccer nets for Maplewood, Jen and I had spoken about that, and that's, she's been informed when the nets can be put out, so that should be good to go. With painting the concession stand at the softball field, we're looking to possibly do that in the spring. Obviously, with the weather the way that we have it now, it would be not a good time to do that, so that'll be pushed off to the spring. Dillon City Park entrance, there is a work order and it's in process, so we're looking to get that cleaned up and looking good again. With Manor Park, the weed trees in the corner of Hubbard, that's been completed. Yep.
It looks good, we just need our sign now.
Yes, absolutely.
And maybe some trees to put around the playground, but it looks way better.
Yeah, it does.
Have you seen it, Joe?
And I'll talk about Manor Park later on Arbor Day under our communication and upcoming events. So we got some ideas for that.
Great.
In regards to dog refuse containers, City Park and Rotary, a work order has been turned in and is in process. So, and then the last one was Helen Park Sidewalk Plan. If you guys noticed, I actually paperclipped the plan so then that way all you guys can check that out. And you'll see the proposed sidewalk that's in there, so then that way there's a walkway for that park, and that way there's access on, seems like both sides.
That's the one we're waiting to rebid to get a better price, right?
Yep.
Have we got bids back yet or anything, or? no?
That I need to find out about that, because we got the grant and that information has all come in, so I'm working to get that processed as well. But yes, I need to find out about the bids.
I believe they were waiting until spring when we started some of our road construction to see if we couldn't get.
Better deal.
I remember we talked about that at the last meeting.
Yep. So I think that'll be coming up with these road project bids that are going out right now.
Okay.
I
So-
did have some, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I just want to make a quick comment about the Rotary Park. Rotary Park is, each commissioner has a park that they're assigned to. Rotary Park is the park that I'm assigned to.
Okay.
And at the last meeting, I made a couple comments about, there's been some geese or ducks or some kind of fowl that has been going through there and defecating. And then I also made a comment about not having a rubbish receptacle. And I just wanted to say that they did go out and clean up the goose leavings, and that there's a receptacle now out, so that, you know, people that use the park has somewhere to throw their rubbish. So it was just nice to see that they moved really quickly on that, because I think that, you know, we want to keep our parks as clean as possible. So, I just want to say that, you know, I appreciated it. I noticed how quickly it was done, so thank you.
I had a question on what is the length of this one really long sidewalk that's here on Helen? I mean,
That's just- it's
I
on a-
see the different dimensions there, but I can't tell, like, how many feet is it from, like, Helen Street to the actual park? I was just curious.
Looks
if
like
you have
70
that.
feet 2 inches, or 170 feet
Oh, I see.
at the top.
Okay, in the trees there a little bit.
Yep.
Right? Oh,
Mhm.
that's 70 feet then?
Looks like 170.
Oh, 170.
Right here?
Oh, that's quite an
She said from
expansive.
Helen.
Oh, okay. Oh, I can't see.
I can't s-
Now, if the millage money doesn't cover it, is that something the city is gonna pick up?
That's quite a long.
Does council know about this, or? 'cause
Millage, are you talking the,
I didn't
Because when we had the first bids, you know, it was, we had,
Yeah.
what was it, 16
16, yeah.
from the Wayne
The grant.
County
the grant?
Parks.
Yeah, not millage money, grant.
Grant.
No, I thought we were using
Not
the
millage
Wayne.
money.
Millage
No, this
is,
is for a grant.
no, millage is what we
Oh, it's a
voted
grant?
on
You
for
call it
like
a
the
grant?
roads and stuff.
Every year, the money that we get.
That's grant.
That's from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's from.
Talking about the
that
same thing.
County money,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, it's
parks
not
money, right?
Park.
What-
Grant.
Yeah, from
okay.
the county, but yes.
Is the city gonna pick up the extra, or are we gonna roll 2 years together? What? I was just curious to know what the
I
plan
believe
is.
we're gonna cross that bridge when we get there. Hopefully, the bids will come in, and it should be pretty well covered by the grant. And then I would assume, which is a bad word, but I would think that if we're a little bit short, the city will come up with funds somewhere.
Okay.
Would be my guess.
That'd be nice.
I did have a comment on the sidewalk itself. One of the concerns that had been brought up, and this was addressed when we first talked about this as well, is the neighbor, so if you're on Helen, and if the home to the north of the vacant lot, so where that large tree is, there's a large tree, and.
The driveway?
No, there's just the two large trees like that are on the actual vacant lot. They create kind of a drainage issue. So the concern was regarding making sure that we grade, especially as we take away and add new materials, grade to make sure that it doesn't affect the property next door. That was even addressed by somebody else who doesn't live there. So it's just, you know, being thoughtful about those things because we don't want to drain somebody else's property.
Flood.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's apparently highly illegal, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say, typically, you're not supposed to change the grade when you do that on anything.
As long as the city knows how to do it, and just because, and I'm sure they do, so, whoever the contractor
We
is.
hired Hennessy, our engineers, to tell the contractor that gets the bid
Yes,
to do it. And then it, you know, unlike Mueller Field where they sort of failed miserably, you know, I'm sure we'll start keeping better eyes on it.
yeah, and that would definitely be something that I would be really concerned about, especially with that. You know, we just don't want to create any flooding, you know, so.
Totally understand.
Have some other improvements that, I'll bring up later on in other business as well. So,
Okay.
thank you.
As far as the concession stand goes at the softball fields, it's not a concession, it's bathroom and storage room.
Oh, okay.
But is the inside of the bathrooms getting painted? Is it interior, exterior, or just one or the other? Do we know?
Right now, that's my idea, and it's an exterior to cover, there's a problem we've heard from ball players that are losing sight of balls against that light-colored building. So we're thinking of painting it that, probably that dark color, a dark color, so that people aren't getting, you know, playing dodgeball with hardballs or softball that they can't pick up off the light-colored building.
Right, no, I've heard that same thing, actually, well, that's good, change it.
So if you don't want marketing brown, you're
Brown is a good color.
I believe it was gonna be with the same color as the arena.
No. Green, Garden City green, it's,
That's what I was thinking. That's first pop, never mind.
then again, it'll blend in with the diseased trees. There's a lot of them, as we know.
Baby steps.
Any other comments regarding old business? Hearing none, moving on to new business. A.
All right. So I was asked, kind of like what I thought the role of the commission should be, and I am one to always make an educated decision. So I was just wondering if we could kind of go across the panel of what inspired you to become part of the Parks and Rec Commission, and you can go into detail or you can make it really short, but just so then that way I understand what inspired you to join this group, so then that way I can kind of see, okay, I could maybe make it more custom to maybe something that I would like each person to do, or things like that.
Kathy, do you want to maybe state your part too, and then?
Sure. Yeah, Manor Park is the one that I watched. Yeah, the reason I got involved was my kids were active in different programs that Park and Rec offered.
Okay.
Flag football, basketball. I think that was predominantly it through Park and Rec. But yeah, I took an interest due to them being involved. So as time has gone on, my interest has kind of spread out a little bit.
Okay.
We really haven't had a lot in terms of kids programming. We're kind of getting back into that more recently. And so I'm excited to see that happening.
Okay.
So,
Thank you, Kathy.
thank you.
So I was asked to join Parks and Recs Commission, and that it was about a year and a half ago now, I believe.
Okay.
And it's been, I wasn't really sure what to expect initially, but one of the things that I found is, with having great discussions, I'm kind of the other voice of not, sports.
Mhm.
My kids don't play sports really.
Okay.
And I also bring the aspect of, working with Parks and Recs and at the Maplewood Center for, 10 years plus, and,
Okay.
that kind of perspective. So,
Okay.
I try to be, thoughtful and inclusive to the kids who don't necessarily, play ball or play, soccer, hockey, or any of those things.
Okay.
Kind of go from there.
Sure. Thank you.
This will be interesting.
No, I'm pretty much the same as Kathy. My son was involved in different sports through the city, and that caught my interest. J. Lee Lynch pushed me in the back saying, hey, get your butt out there and help them out. So,
All right.
and I have Arcola Park, the smallest park.
All right.
It's
Needs
such
a lot of
beautiful park.
attention.
This is John Jones.
Okay.
Is this your 50th year, John?
Yeah, I got court-martialed for having dinosaur shit on my spear.
I know, you've been here since when?
How long?
How long you been here?
20 years plus.
You deserve a watch.
I'll expect one of these days.
I live near Florence Park, and when I had my son, we started going there a lot, and there was major flooding issues, so that brought me to council meetings to speak about it and ask what I could do to help. And Dan was at this meeting, and that's it. That was done. He pulled me in, and I've been on since 2015.
Okay. Thank you.
On Prior to living in Garden City, I was on Parks and Rec in the city of Wixom, and from there I went on to be Mayor Pro Tem. And then I left Wixom, and I ended up moving into Garden City several years later. And I enjoy being involved with my community.
Okay.
And I enjoy Parks and Rec.
Okay. All right, thank you.
My park I share with Robert is Garden City Park. I have lived in Garden City all my life. Used to live on Roslyn right behind the Garden City Park, so I spent a lot of time there when I was a kid. Went through many programs when I was younger at Maplewood, so got to take advantage of that. Being the president of the soccer club and being involved with the club for many years, I felt that, since I'm all, around these fields and around the youth sports organization, this would be a great, part for me to be on this. And since, I've only been, on the panel under the commission for, since November, I believe. But I've learned a lot and was able to take a lot back to my board and then bring a lot back to you guys too. And, making contacts with DPS, with Dan, and everyone's, with, even the schools too. Everyone's been extremely helpful. So I found it a really great resource for me and our club and in the youth sports as well.
Okay. Thank you, Jen.
And I got along. I was a friend of Jim Kerwin that passed away.
Okay.
And he introduced me to the mayor, and they asked me about joining just to add a little diversity to this panel.
Okay.
I'm a long time resident, 24 years in Garden City now.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Thank you.
And I use the park quite a bit, and I'm glad that my co-partners were talking about dog waste.
We need 2 people because it's so big.
Oh,
Yes, that makes sense. Okay.
My turn?
Yep.
I think it's my 5th year I came in, the same year as you, right? So my 5th year, I was approached by the mayor. I'm on the GCYAA, have been for 12 years now, and they wanted somebody with the biggest youth program in the city to be involved at the Parks and Rec division. So I accepted and came in, and initially I know there was some side talk about me not taking it seriously in the first few years. And in all honesty, it was a joke. You come in here and our word went nowhere.
Okay.
We want to put a sign up, and you put gutters up instead. And I was like, what's our purpose? Why are we here? One person does all the speaking, and then you have a melee at the end. You're trying to put your hand in to get a motion to talk. Over the last year and a half, it's definitely improved. We're in here now. I think our voice is being carried somewhere. And for me, it's a passion for the youth of the city. That's why I've been involved with GCYAA.
Sure.
So this just kind of segues it and expands it further. And I think we've done an exceptional job with, you see all these things that are done now just with new regime, without ousting. Things are getting done. And it's impressive. And it's necessary. Curb appeal is what draws people to the city, and so do parks. If you don't have a park
Parks, yeah,
that's
I agree.
full of geese poop and dog poop, then who wants to put their kids on there with their shoes,
Great.
So I think things are definitely improving. Mark Jacobs has been very helpful on this panel too. He came, when did you come in, Mark? Shortly after I came on board, because I know it was Pat.
I got on council in 15, so it would have been 16. I took
Okay.
over for Pat McCarge.
Yeah, so it was Pat McCarge was on when I first came in, and she was a former Parks and Rec director of the city. So I think the mayor's approach of coming to me was, let's get some young, energetic. I don't want to dismiss anybody in here, because everybody's got their point of views, and everybody's, but you get what I'm saying, is I'm looking at it from a kid's standpoint.
Sure.
Others might be looking at it as a walking path or something, So anyway, it's a passion. I thoroughly enjoy being on the panel. What I bring to the table, I think, offers sometimes.
Give yourself a pat on the back, Joe.
Don't break your arm.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kate.
Mark, did you want to say anything?
Not, well,
We don't,
no, I've enjoyed working with, Dawn left, and, I
Yeah.
think that was right about when Rob came on, and then Jen came on. And I think the commission as a whole has gotten a little more, I'll say kind of aggressive, and not, attacking, but pushing more ideas. They pushed for the 5-year, master plan that we didn't have.
Thank God.
They pushed for the park inspections and the improvements at all the parks. And I think that's, when I got on, that's kind of what I wanted to see, and I think it's coming around. I think our commissioners take it serious, and I think they do a good job. I think you guys do awesome job. So keep up the good work, and we'll see if Brad can fit in with us.
That's right.
You gotta be aggressive, Brad.
I'm all right with it.
Now it's your turn.
Not too aggressive. Yeah, tell us about you.
All right, so a little bit about me. I am a product of Little Wayne, city of Wayne. Grew up there, lived there for about 21 years of my life. Then I actually took a job. I worked in Parks and Rec pretty much from 15 on. My first job was a lifeguard at the City of Wayne Rec Center over on Howe. And let me back up a little bit more from there. I've been in Parks and Rec pretty much since I could walk, because I would go to special events with my dad. My dad has been in Parks and Rec for 30 plus years. He worked for Wayne County and ran special events out of Wayne County, Oakland County, and worked for the city of Wayne as well. So I've been in special events for a lot longer than what I have said on my resume, pretty much. But in regards to my professional background, I've been in special events, health and wellness, aquatics, and I've run camps. When I went to the JCC in Oak Park, that was my first full-time job. I ran a summer day camp for the West Bloomfield Jewish Community Center. We were like a sister site for the first year that I worked there. And then they ended up taking that away from us, so they asked me to create a brand new one. So I created a brand new camp from scratch. I'm very proud to say we netted $15,000 our first year. So I was very happy with that, considering the small building that we had. From there, I went to the Salvation Army Croc Center out in Grand Rapids and worked there in aquatics. And worked there for about 2.5 years, had a great opportunity to open a brand new facility. That's going from scratch of creating all your policies and procedures, your signage, all that fun stuff, training all the staff. So got to experience that. Then from there I went to Canton Township, which was my recent position. I oversaw the health and wellness department and the aquatics department. We offered 68 fitness classes a week. I had a staff between the two departments of about 105, 110 people, and these were ranging from adults to 16-year-olds. So I have a vast variety of management background and stuff like that, and trainings and risk management. So yeah, and I look forward to bringing all of that stuff here and also expanding my horizon and getting creative with programming with Garden City. That was one of the biggest draws to me is the opportunity to create new things. And that was my biggest push to Doc when I had my interview of, I want to create new things, but also I want to create successful things. If we try things and they're complete flop, that might happen, but I'm going to do my best to prepare everybody to make sure that those events are the best that they can be. So,
Awesome.
yeah, that's a little background on me. Sorry, that was
You're off to a good start.
No, I think you
Okay.
got at least a couple of us that are right there with you on those events.
okay. Well, cool. All right. So,
Pretty awesome.
yeah.
No, new business. If no one has any comments, moving on to new business B.
Yep. Just to let you guys know, I'm sure some of you have already heard, but the Maplewood Community Center is now under the Parks and Rec Department. I've been meeting with Megan already on a weekly basis, and I've been over there at least 3 times a week, if not more. Just touching base with Megan, and also Monica as well is under the Parks and Recreation Department as well. But Megan does not oversee Monica. They're on their own separate. So there's the Family Resource Centers part of it, and then there's Megan who oversees the community center. So we're looking to hopefully start some programming in that building in the near future.
That's great.
Yeah.
With the programming that's there, I spoke on already, and I just put it out there for the commission too. With youth sports, soccer, baseball, basketball, football, we have no indoor gyms in the city other than schools. Sometimes it's difficult because you got the school sports that are utilizing and they get priority.
Right.
So as of right now, we have to pay to rent Maplewood. Now that it's part of Parks and Rec, are these youth programs that run all the youth programs so far in the city, GCYAA, soccer, are they going to be able to utilize that facility for no charge?
I was gonna
or
bring up the
reduced
same
charge?
thing.
Yeah. Basically, Doc and I haven't discussed that just yet in regards to the relationship status of that, but that's something that we're definitely going to look into.
Okay, I know we had spoke on it, and I think if there's some dedicated days that, let's just say soccer gets Monday and GCYA gets Wednesday, at least we have something to go off of. And right now, we're actively trying to do indoor conditioning and indoor baseball stuff in the off season. Some kids don't go into football or basketball, and they're waiting and waiting, chomping the bit to pick that bat back up and get in. And we can't do it. I mean, I reached out to Wayne to try to get into the rec center through the Wayne Athletic Association, through GCYAA, to work in unison with each other to have an indoor facility. We don't have that. And then when you look at $120 for 2 days to rent the gym down there, it's not probable for a nonprofit association. So hopefully you guys can work something out, and, between the two of our things that pretty much do everything for the youth in the city right now. I know you're going to do it too, but just an idea.
Okay.
I would like to see, open basketball at the Maplewood Center. I have a lot of residents that seem to want it, especially for teens.
Okay.
I called up
they
there
asked for it.
last week or the week before. Right now with the soccer club, as well as GCYA, we're doing walk-up registration. We need a location for these families to come and pay to register their players. And what GCYA and the soccer club are doing, we have to pay $10 an hour to utilize the room. So, if we say 2 hours, it's $20. We also, with the soccer club, are doing a referee certification class, which we're also renting our room as well as the gym, and the gym rental is like $20 an hour. So I'm the same with Joe, with these youth sports, especially with this ref class, it's going to create jobs for the kids in our community and surroundings, not just kids, but 13 and up. So that's huge for us, and having the community center to be able to utilize would be huge and not have to pay for it. But again, I know there's additional conversations that need to, go for that. But I did call and ask about, my husband and kids wanted to play basketball one day. I'm like, hey, can I get a gym rental? And it was available. It was $20 an hour, but you can she was saying that I could do a drop-in basketball day, so for $20 an hour.
Especially because those nets that just got purchased were a lot of money, so it would be great to see some kind of return on those coming in.
And behind closed doors too, we talk for GCYA, we keep our costs low. We're the cheapest around the area, and it's because we do fundraisers and stuff like that, and we look for things such a city can give back to help out, keep the costs low. What I'm getting at is the schools, they give us the gyms free. Mine is tipped in, who is for profit, so they have to charge. But we use the schools, and if we can, we give back. For instance, we pretty much, I don't know if I can say, we're recorded, Mark?
What's that?
We're recorded right now?
Yep.
I'll talk to you after about it. But either way, we can get back to schools. We do. We buy slag for the fields and years past or whatever. So we work with the schools best we can. And I'm saying we can do the same thing.
Okay.
Now, for you guys with your registrations and just signups, why couldn't you use the upstairs at the arena?
Too small?
Did you sign up? Is this too small?
Yeah, we
You
do.
got a whole walkway they could line up if they had to stand in line.
We don't really have one line. It's, you walk in, there's the T-ball table, you sign up there, and then you have, you know, it goes through each age division. And that big room at Maplewood, we utilize that whole room, and then you have a line going down the middle for the cash register, or to pay the payments. So they sign up, register, we confirm dates of birth, birth certificates, or whatever, and then they get lined to pay. And it's.
I would
yeah, come
think,
and
I would
see
think
it.
there's a way, you know, depending on the cost and everything, that you could utilize the arena.
We might be able to use that. That might work for our space. What we're doing this time for our walk-up registration, I do need to call Maplewood just to see if they have the gym available on these days. But we are talking about possibly doing a free clinic for the kids in the community, the younger ages. So and we've done this with the soccer club for many years, is we get a gym space, we have some of our more experienced coaches come out, you know, have kids from like 6 to like 9 years old, or beginning, even starting at 4 years old, and we show them, you know, some soccer drills. We also partner with Dick's Sporting, and they give us, like, sometimes they've given us free soccer balls, shin guards, water bottles, so we'll give that away as well. So I am gonna call tomorrow just to see if they have a couple dates there for
No,
walk-up
I get
registration.
for the activities part.
Yeah,
of
but
it.
no, I think for the walk-up registration, if we can use the upstairs at the Civic Center for free,
I'm sure there's nights, there's not a lot of,
I mean,
you could do it
I'm
on
open.
a night when there's adult events going that, you know,
yeah,
nobody's coming to watch.
Right.
So there's, basically, you'd have the whole arena minus the ice.
yeah, I'm open to that,
You know,
that's
it's
for
like
sure.
our fundraiser games that we have there, we set up tables
Yeah.
all along the glass on that door.
Right. Yeah,
I'm
if
just saying,
you're good with it,
as an
Brad,
option,
I mean, just,
depending on what's going on at
Well, just let
Maplewood.
me clear with.
yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Or there's Maplewood, if we can get that for free too. Whatever. We'll take whatever we can get.
I'll volunteer and donate my money if I can put drywall in that room and get rid of the paneling that's in there.
That's something I'm on to do.
Thanks.
All right, put that on your list too.
Yeah.
But just going back to what you said, for us, it is a
Sure.
bigger scale, and I think if I talk to Dave about it, and we get that room, and we do it blocks, T-balls from 9 to 10,
Yeah.
then we have them come in individually, but then that stretches the day out for us, where we have all the volunteers, you know what I mean? But there's workability with it, absolutely, but if Maplewood's priority. And then same with our pancake breakfast that's on May 2nd this year. I think you've gone in
Yeah,
years
that's
past.
opening day.
That's a big, event, and,
Yeah, you're not putting that in.
no, but if we move that to Maplewood, look at all the people that are going to utilize the community center,
Mhm.
rather than going to the school.
I don't think that's as big a center rough or Berger.
No, well, the kitchen area and the gym, yeah, you're right, it's a little small. But we
It's
pay through the
smaller.
roof to rent that school for the day too. So either way.
Okay.
Can't you just find one area in Garden City and build a massive?
That's what I want.
Community.
We're gonna ask you every single month we have a meeting.
A big one.
I'll just treat that as an agenda item.
Yeah, yes, we want an indoor facility, and Joe and I are gonna ask you like every month.
With a fake sun that sets and never.
Listen,
rises and never
let's
sets.
not get picky, okay? We just need an indoor facility.
You're right, I'll take 69 degrees, consistent temperature all day.
I got a question for you.
Sure.
Brad. So is there, like a master plan with the Maplewood Center, saying how there are different programs that are ran out of there,
Mhm.
pretty specific programs
Sure.
that are grant funded, that are, ran differently, than
Yes.
just parks and recs essentially?
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys sat down and talked about a master plan for those, since now those programs will be included under our master plan essentially, correct?
Yeah, any programming that's held in Maplewood would be under Parks and Rec. That's what my understanding is.
Sure.
So,
Because, as you know, if you've met with Megan and Monica, those are
Yep.
some pretty, extensive programs that have, Monica's program has been around for, God,
Long time.
Even.
forever.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of my first, social work jobs, and 18 years ago, so, so I'm really wanting to make sure that their plans, to continue to grow and to flourish, is one of the things that I take pretty serious, in terms of where my role is
Sure.
with everything. So however we can look at that and then obviously identify as an addenda to the master plan. Obviously, it might take some time, but
Sure.
I would like to see that, at some point.
Okay.
I do have to say that the 4-H programs there, that they have added,
Yeah.
like, and are adding constantly, are amazing.
Yeah.
Like, my kids were in the robotics 4-H class, and they loved it. It was awesome. And through communications, I keep seeing more programs popping up, and I think it's great. I think just offering so many different things for these kids is huge.
Who actually runs the 4-H?
Michigan
program?
State.
Is it Michigan
Yeah,
State?
Michigan
Yeah.
State through, it's the extension
Right.
of MSU, it's through the different counties, but it's ultimately,
What-
the big hub is MSU.
What department is it being ran out of though? Are they
Extension,
No, but are they partnering with the community resource department, or are they just kind of on their own? Do we know? Does that
I
make
don't know.
sense?
yeah,
In
it
the
does,
library?
but,
Maybe.
4-H itself,
Yeah.
is a subsidiary
Yes.
in the extension from Michigan State University.
Correct.
Now, how they have it over at Maplewood, I don't know, but I know like, the county itself, or MSU has had an extension division at Vinoy and Van Born,
Okay.
where they did like the Master Gardeners, they did the
Yep,
4-H
yep.
things out of it. Now, for the different cities, I'm not exactly sure how they incorporate those in, but I know that,
Yeah, most of the programs that are like that are ran under like the community resource department or the senior department, or they're typically ran under a umbrella program. So I was just curious. So.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't know the answer, but I'm gonna
Sure.
find
No,
out
that's
for you.
fine. Yeah.
So. we'll find
I
out.
wanted to ask a couple questions as well.
Sure.
We'll make a comment and ask a question.
Okay.
So since Maplewood is, like, we're basically merging, so is there gonna be a representative from Maplewood that, is there room on the commission for somebody to join so that we can hear what's going on with them rather than just, like, usually we just get flyers and stuff
Sure.
and we just get data that tells us what's going on over there. We don't really have anybody that's currently involved over there in the commission.
Oh, so like another commission member? Is that
Yeah,
what-
I don't know, do we have
Just
another
representative.
opening, or, no, we don't?
That's
Okay.
against the bylaws, I think we're only allowed 12.
All right.
You can have people come in as an update.
Yeah, yeah, at least a representative, like Rob was saying, maybe that could come in occasionally or something and just kind of give us
Well, and
some
once,
information about what's going on in there.
yeah, and once we get Maplewood up and running with like more programs and stuff like that, I will be reporting on things that are going on over there.
Yeah, more integration, is that what you mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, that will be coming more down the pipeline. Right now, I really have a grasp on the ice arena and getting Maplewood to kind of, we're trying to turn a new leaf to kind of add some new stuff there, but also continue with some of the things that are there. So, that is something that I can report if that would be
I
something
see.
that would suffice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the comment that I had was, I've frequented the Maplewood Community Center quite a bit with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And my kids are adult children now, but what I found was that oftentimes the folks working at the desk, they're really at a disadvantage because they really don't really have their ear to the ground as to everything that's going on. And I've heard them be very, very frustrated because people will tend to call the Maplewood Center for information about things that are going on in the community.
Okay.
And it might be something about GCYA, it might be something about soccer, it might have been like about the water filters that went out. And like, these poor folks that are at the desk, they don't really know how to answer things, and they don't always necessarily have like phone numbers and people's names and like when something's running, like a calendar, a schedule of everything.
Sure.
There are flyers and things of that nature that are on the desk, but not all programs and not all people running programs, do they have access to that information?
Okay.
I've gone in and asked various questions, and they kind of look at each other and they don't know. And I feel like they're kind of the face of the community in a way,
Okay.
because how often do people come up to the ice arena to ask questions that maybe aren't in hockey or aren't in softball, you know?
Good point.
So, and I just don't know if they're calling like the mayor's office to ask these questions. I highly doubt it. So I just kind of feel like maybe those folks that are sitting at the desk should have a little more knowledge on how to answer questions, where to direct people to, just have that information accessible to them, because they really don't. They're very
agree with you.
limited.
I do. I've had similar, you know, when they just kind of look at each other and they don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
They give you the deer in the headlight look.
I just call Mark Jacobs.
Right? There you go.
He'll transfer you.
Hey, that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna tell them, call Mark Jacobs.
Call Mark if-
Just
call
tell them
Mark
if they don't know
Jacobs.
the answer, tell them to call Mark Jacobs. They'll love to hear the
Wouldn't be the
call.
first time.
Won't be the
No,
last.
but I believe Megan is starting to do that more now that she's more involved with it. You know, I'm sure Brad will push it a little further, but I believe she was starting to get her people a little more up to speed on stuff.
Yeah, I never really said anything before about it because they really weren't connected to
Right.
Park and Rec.
And since
But
Megan,
now that there's kind of this merge that's gonna happen, I feel like I have a place to say something about it.
Absolutely.
It's great to see this door open, and I'm excited to see what Parks and Recs gets to do over there.
Sure. Thank you.
So
You know,
Brad,
most of those people that work there are like volunteers and older people.
yeah, they're kids.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
teens are
Front
working
desk is
there.
younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not
Because
the
that's what I found.
The best people are big.
Yeah.
The ones that work at the desk, yeah.
Okay, any other,
Yeah. So Brad, I just have one question on the Maplewood thing. And it's not really something, it's just something that maybe I could get information from the next time. But since we're going to be incorporating Maplewood Center is where the library is. I'm just wondering if it's possible, or if the library's even going to want to maybe coordinate some events
We've
with.
actually already started.
Really awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
James and I met last week, and we're going to be he went for a grant, I forget who it was through, but it was a grant to get some Fitbits, and he got, I believe, 20 of them. And what we're gonna do is a program from February to March. Well, he's doing the program, I'm just providing facilities and stuff. But to where families can come out and they can, check out a Fitbit, and they can utilize some programs that we're going to create for low cost or free, to where they come out to Garden City Park and we go through the fitness, the fitness
Court,
court.
yes.
Yes. We utilize the fitness court so they can learn how to stretch. They can learn to utilize the fitness court itself. But if they're older individuals, we're not going to make them do all those. We can talk to them about the benefits of walking the trail that we have going around Garden City Park,
Or
and
any of our
also,
parks almost.
well, and Rotary
Except for
too
John.
is the other one that we're going to have as well, because that has a walking trail around it. So we've teamed up with them already, and we're definitely going to continue that relationship.
That's awesome. That's great to know.
Sure.
Awesome. Thank you.
Just a fun little tidbit about the fitness court.
Yeah.
All age levels are able to use it.
Okay.
It's designed just for that purpose as well.
Yeah.
If you want some more training on that, I got some more information for you.
Okay. I haven't even started.
He's gonna train you himself.
Okay.
I will.
I'm good with that.
I was
He
trained
will.
for it, so
Okay. All right. I'll take you up on that.
deal.
All right. But yeah, we're definitely looking forward to working more with him.
That's
with
awesome.
James and the
That's
library.
really nice to see that it's all coming together.
Sure.
That's great.
any other comments, questions regarding new business? Okay, moving on. Communications and upcoming events.
All right, letter A, we got the Valentine's Sweetheart Skate. This is going to be another theme skate that we're going to be doing at the ice arena. Basically there for families or couples to come out and have a skate with us. We're going to get it all themed up like Valentine's Day and stuff like that. So definitely look forward to hosting that event. That'll be Sunday, February 16th from 12 to 1:30. And then the next one is our Easter egg hunt. That will be Saturday, April 11th. We've already ordered 10,000 eggs, and they're on their way to the ice arena. That will be located at Garden City Park when we do that event. And we're going to break it into age groups and we'll put it out at the softball fields. And each age group will get their own field, and we'll put out basically, depending on who has the more kids for each age group, but basically roughly 3,000 eggs for each age group. And then we'll have special eggs that will have prizes, like little pieces of paper that I'm gonna go and get some kid appropriate prizes from like your Walmart, and like say it's like a Lego set for someone who's 4 to 6 or something like that, to where it's a little bit more special prizes besides just a piece of candy in the egg. So each age group will have 15 special eggs, and they'll get the special prizes, and we'll have a tent and the Easter bunny there, and it'll be a good time.
I'll help.
Oh yeah?
Oh, God,
Residents
yeah, I
only?
love these events.
Oh, I was gonna bring that up.
Residents only?
It is a free event that we're putting on. We haven't determined if it's going to be residents only or not, but
It's gonna be
as of
so
right
hard to
now,
tell.
it's just free to everybody.
It's gonna be so hard, but what I can say, and I know we all saw this, is the trunk or treat.
We just went through this.
Yes, so you say you got 10,000 eggs?
Yep.
And you have all the surrounding cities, those kids are gonna be severely disappointed when they get 2 eggs each.
Not
or whatever
even.
it is.
Not
Yeah,
even.
So and I know we talked about this, which we can't do this with this type of event, with the wristband and all of that, but, or maybe we can, I don't know.
Sure you could. They're
Sure
You
going
can
on-
still do a
they're-
wristband
Sure
if
you
it's
can,
free-
because if
even if
they're
it's
on the
free.
field, you can make
Right.
them go through the
Oh, right,
gates
yeah,
to get
yeah,
on there.
yeah. But what I had brought up is, sending wristbands out with the schools. So, or,
Or doing a fee.
with the students, or, $1 or whatever it may be. I don't know how you go about that, but I just know that
Yeah, trunk or treat was
the promotion,
insane.
The
And they threw, people
Yeah.
went away.
the promotion with the trunk or treat was so vast, there was just so much promotion, social media. I mean, it was everywhere. I mean, so many kids came out. So I think like with this, maybe just promoting it to the schools and maybe some online, some social media.
I don't
But-
know about social media though. Facebook is what,
Yeah, that's
what made
true.
trunk and treat go crazy. I
Yeah.
mean,
Okay.
seriously.
Oh,
I think you gotta limit it.
That's been a building, that's been a
Gotta
building
put a limit
event.
on
I think you
Yeah.
could possibly do something with, residents only with a wristband, where you're going onto a field. They're obviously gonna be at 0 to 10 years old. They're gonna be parent,
Yeah,
Right.
accompanied. So, I mean, some may sneak in,
yeah. I mean, it's gonna be hard.
with whatever, but,
Yeah.
you could have parents have to show ID when they come to the park.
Right, when they
You know,
get,
and
I'm
if
with
you put
Jen.
it on
You got
social
3,000
media,
kids, you got 10,000 eggs, everybody gets 3 eggs. Ooh, I'm excited.
but if you put it on social
Yeah.
media, you can put it as residents only, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
You'd have to check with,
I would.
yeah.
our rules, but.
But yeah, I
um,
mean, as Kate, that was nuts. Was it not nuts?
You had vendors that ran out of candy because there were so many. that
Well-
had
Or
not
maybe
approved.
charging
You had people
for
still coming to,
non-residents or
it ended
something.
at 7, at 10 minutes to 7. People were still walking to get in line to go walk through trunk and treat when half the people were out of candy anyway.
I think that was a learning lesson. I think
It was
that was
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to take that one and go, okay, entry ends at 6:30, but trunk or treat goes till whatever time you go to, but entry is a certain time it ends.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Because
is.
you guys
It's
had
supposed
so
to
many
be a
people
quarter to
flowing in
7.
there.
But they
Like,
weren't supposed
They're coming
to.
up at 10 to 7. I mean,
Yeah, they were, but they weren't supposed to. That was
And
the
then the
whole
rumor
thing.
The
was-
rule,
they-
the rule was quarter to 7. So that's when the line's supposed to end.
I think just this next coming year.
It was a learning experience.
Yeah,
It
it'll-
was.
I'm sure it'll be different, you know, looking at,
And hopefully you don't lose too many people.
yeah.
And you don't drive over the ball fields. Again.
So that's that. So go think about that one.
Yeah, there's a lot with that
We
one.
noted.
The other thing I would mention is parking. And if there's kids sort of running about looking for eggs, and we got a lot of people kind of coming in and coming out and moving around on the
Right.
roads there, that to me would be a concern as well.
But I think you said they
They're
were
in
gonna
the
be
ball
on the.
fields.
They'll be,
They're gonna
all
be
the
on the
eggs
ball
will be
field.
inside the ball field.
Oh, I see.
Although you should have, make sure that you have police for parking, because Cherry Hill Road will get really backed up, at least it did for Trunk and Tree.
Okay.
And then I would say make sure you have enough volunteers.
Contingent plan for inclement weather, because the ball fields do flood.
Oh,
God, we're just giving them all kinds of bad
we
news.
are.
Learning
Not really,
experience
though.
right here.
It's
Learning.
just, it's
Learning.
not bad news.
Right,
It's
right, yeah,
just,
yeah.
you know, consider this.
Yes.
For the hailstorm.
The hailstorm.
You see there's a lot of puddling areas.
People from Inkster.
Parking lot, that's brand new, you could do it parking lot, park somewhere else.
Brad, do you have any children?
I do not, but I have 2 nephews and a niece
Okay.
that are like my children.
Yeah, because these things start out as really fun, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
can turn really chaotic, sorry, and unfun. So
Yeah.
you would just have to really plan them really well, that's all.
Oh, yeah.
Just- yeah.
We're gonna probably plan our first meeting for it probably next week. So to get kind of plans in place, to kind of get thinking outside of the box, even to think of contingent plans and where things should be, and even talking, you know, pricing if we need to charge, or, you know, that sort of thing.
This is something GCYA's wanted to do for years, we've just never pulled the trigger. But if you need volunteers,
Okay.
you'll be at our meeting next month. So
Yep.
by all means, come in with an ask, and
Sure.
I know there's several people will be on board.
Okay.
You can come to our meeting too. I'll give you those dates.
Okay.
Any
Yeah, I'd
other
love to hear 'em.
thoughts about the Easter egg hunt? Okay, moving on to C.
See, Arbor Day. Arbor Day is basically your celebration of trees, and we wanted to bring in a special event, not diseased. We wanted to bring in a special event to promote the planting of trees, and we understand that Manor Park, we are looking to get some trees, some shaded areas around the playground area. So we're thinking that that would be where we first plant our trees for Arbor Day. And it's kind of a cool concept. We're gonna look to, I don't know, maybe we get one tree and it's significant, or we get a couple of little ones to where they can start growing pretty quick. But I'm just gonna put it out to you guys to maybe check out the Arbor Foundation website. It's a cool little website that they have all the different kinds of trees that are out there that can grow really well in our area of Michigan. And if you guys have any opinions on what trees should go over there, I'd love to hear from you guys. That will, I'm sorry? Oh. And that will be Friday, April 24th. We don't have a time frame yet, but we're gonna try to work with maybe the school district.
The soccer club will help with volunteers on that too.
Okay, wonderful.
So.
And then, yeah, just so then that way we have another special event to promote our trees in the city.
My advice is whatever you plant, make sure you tell DPS.
Yeah.
Mark
We're gonna
it
get their
well.
blessing too, as well.
Florence Park, a resident planted some trees and they are gone now. So,
Okay, all right.
any comments about Arbor Day?
I think they actually send you trees for free too,
Oh,
For free.
Little
I had
ones,
to
little
donate,
ones, yeah.
but they sent me,
The little ones,
yeah,
yeah,
they
the
sent me
little.
10.
Seedlings.
They're in my backyard growing.
So, I mean, no, I've been a member of them, and you get the free return address things for your envelopes.
That's
Free.
great to see. That's exciting that the city is gonna celebrate that. I like that.
Yep.
And only legal trees,
Of course.
right?
Babies. Baby trees.
All right.
Ash bore's bad.
Moving on
Moving on, moving right along.
to D.
The Bacon Run. As some of you may know already, we have moved the Bacon Run to August 15th. We didn't have any sponsorship or any registrations for the May date. So we have moved it back to August 15th, and, yeah, that's pretty much the
Now,
report
are you
on that.
planning on leaving it in August, or are you going to go, all right, okay.
Nope, we're gonna leave it in August and be consistent.
That's too bad.
I thrive on consistency with special events. So like, I really enjoy if we say it's the third Friday of every April for like one special event that we do yearly. So then that way parents, when they're scheduling out, their year sometimes, they will know Arbor Day is always the last Friday in April. So then that way, that's when we're always going to do it. So this is going to be consistent moving forward in August, so.
I
And
liked
maybe
it.
that
It was
would be-
nice and warm.
I know, but I can't be there then.
I was just gonna say, maybe that would be helpful for sponsors to plan too.
Sure.
If they're gonna be involved,
Absolutely.
instead of moving it around.
Yep. Yeah, it'll stay in August for sure.
Any comments or questions regarding the bacon run? And I think, Rob, you're on
Commission for that.
there's a group
Oh, okay,
that meets and Rob is on it.
okay.
So he could probably be an asset to you.
Did you know I was a commission?
Or committee, I think.
A
What do you
committee?
call
It
yourself?
is a committee,
Oh, okay,
We can run
a
through it.
committee,
okay, all right,
committee from the commission.
all right.
E, future events still in process.
Yeah, so I wanted to kind of put it out there for everyone to kind of know what we're thinking about and what we're kind of dreaming up. So I want to continue with the theme to open skates, probably on the Sundays for right now. Maybe summertime comes with us looking at doing summer ice possibly. That is something that might be in the works as well. But I want to do some more themed open skates. Maybe it's like once a month, right? To where maybe it kind of creates more of a draw to the ice arena to get some more people through the door and have some fun in there. I put down there superhero and princess, and if you guys have ideas, I'm more than willing to hear about them.
How well was this received? You might have went over this already. How well was this?
Oh, we had
Very.
like 300 people, 250, 300 people
They
there.
ran out of skates.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
ran out of skates with it, so it was a great turnout. Yeah.
For not
Then
a lot
again,
of
it is-
overhead,
Yeah.
But then
an
again,
easy
it's
event to
frozen.
do.
Yes.
I mean, anything frozen is,
Yeah.
I
And
think
it
you
helped
gotta
that
look
we
and
had-
see what the hot buzz is right now, and this is one of the hot ones right now.
Oh, yeah.
Even superheroes, it's great to see something for boys, like a
Yeah.
boy themed event too. I like
Sure.
that.
And if you guys have any ideas, please feel free to shoot me an email on it, and
No, I know, but
right.
be more than willing to turn it up and make it happen.
Is Minecraft still a thing with the kids?
yes, it is. Well, for my 6-year-old, it is.
All right.
That and the Roblox and Fortnite, of course.
One thing I would caution you on is if you do run a program and it's not successful, I would say don't throw it to the curb. Take a good look at it
Sure.
and see why was it not successful. Did we not do enough marketing? Did
Yep.
we not do enough social media?
Yep.
I hear people all the time go, oh, we tried that once, it didn't work. Well, okay, I'm in sales, so what I'll tell you is, if you can't sell it one way and you keep doing it and you keep doing it, it ain't gonna stick. So you better change your presentation.
Sure.
So that would be the same thing with this. Why wasn't it successful?
Sure.
I've got
Or
another
is there
one for
something
you.
else we could have done to make it more successful?
Yeah, there's an evaluation process
Yeah.
that we go through any special event or program.
Well, yeah, but a lot of times we've had that issue where they don't do it, and I just wanna make sure that we're on that same track.
Oh, yeah.
Just like when we were talking about, like, after the parade and stuff like that. We always say this happens every year, but there's never a meeting after the Christmas parade to say, these are the things that went wrong, how do we correct them next year? Right?
You should call one.
Huh?
yeah, you were supposed to do that.
No, that was not me.
No, you did say that, I heard.
No, I did not
Can't
say
do
that.
everything, bro.
No, I know you can't.
The other big thing is that Fortnite
Is what?
Fortnite video game.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Does your son play Fortnite?
No, he's in the game, Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, okay.
My kids play Fortnite.
That's not appropriate.
It's not appropriate.
What if we got a bunch of big wheels out on the
That's
ice?
true. Then you'll
Oh,
probably
that would be
fight,
fun.
We're gonna have to go to the Justice Center.
The Justice Center.
you wanna?
So, wait a minute, what,
Anybody that.
so your next thing that you have on here, though, is an egg hunt?
Mm-hmm.
Is that like doing, like, the,
Easter egg hunt, but in
but
Halloween.
yeah, Halloween, like a candy thing?
So basically, this is something Doc has talked about wanting to do, and basically it's virtually an egg hunt, but basically it's during night. And what you do is you get little 4-inch glow sticks, and you use the glow stick to go find your eggs. Because it's night out, you're not gonna be able to see them until you use the glow stick to go around to find the eggs.
So would it be like a fall kind of a thing, or would it be a
Oh, yeah.
spring?
I
Yeah,
think
it would be a
Doc's
fall.
vision
It'd
is
be-
instead of
Well-
trunk or treat.
Well, I don't know
used
if it'd
to-
be instead of
Fall.
anything. Just
In-
it's an idea.
Yeah.
In Wixom, we
Yeah.
used to have a fall event, and it was called the Panther Hunt, because there's a fictitious panther that was
Panther.
seen in Wixom
Okay.
many, many, many years ago. But, so what, on the outer edge of the park was, like, it was all treed, so we had like a walk, and a guide would take them through there, and it was dark, and,
Okay.
and it was just like a festival, but it
Okay.
was a fall-type festival, and the kids came around, and it was based on the panther, but I mean, it was just a fall festival. So it would, something similar to what it sounds like you're trying to do here, which would be just like fall festival for the kids, and getting them out and looking for things, and
Sure.
that sounds like fun.
Okay.
We don't have a panther, we have a pig.
Okay, we could have a pig. We could be looking for Porky.
The pig will be slower.
He could be stolen
He
again.
was already lost once.
Oh, let's
He
go.
got stolen once already.
I heard stories.
What about his piglets? Didn't someone take his piglets away again?
All right, are we
Is there piglets in the park?
moving on to blow up movie screen?
Yeah, this is, I just wanted to let you guys know, we have plans to purchase a inflatable movie screen, and hopefully do some movies in the park kind of events in the near future. And just wanted to let you guys know that would be coming down the pipe.
That's fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
Absolutely.
Summer camp?
Yeah, not obviously this coming summer because it's so close, but we're looking to possibly put together a summer camp for the following summer, which would be either housed in the ice arena or in Maplewood. It's just an idea. It's not anything that we're for sure going with, but we're looking around to the idea of doing that. There are a lot of stipulations with the state that we would have to meet. So that is one of the things that we would have to work through in order to produce that. So, but we are definitely in the ideas of creating something
Starting from scratch, that's your expertise.
Right up Rob's alley.
like that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say also, the Maplewood Center, Family Resource Center already has a summer camp that they put on every year.
Mhm.
Summer
And-
heat.
Summer heat.
Yep.
And, which is one of the programs I helped get started over there,
Okay.
along with Monica. And it's pretty well attended, and it's with the grants and stuff like that. I believe it funds itself essentially, but they also pay to attend the summer heat program as well.
Okay.
So in terms of what they do, I think it'd be a great way. It's not a sports camp by any means, but
Mhm.
they do have things that are encompassed in there. So make sure you take a look at that.
Okay.
So again, you don't have to reinvent the wheel necessarily.
Yeah.
I did
but-
not know that they,
I didn't either.
I didn't know it was on.
Yeah,
My
it's-
son did it, and Rob was his guy, and he thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, my kids do
Seven or
too.
eight. 7 or 8, he liked it. 9, maybe.
And the price is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, these people are lining up the day that they're allowed to get in there, and every spot is filled
It's filled every year.
that day, within maybe a couple hours.
Yeah.
You gotta remember, baseball ends and soccer ends, and
Yeah.
there's nothing in like the end
Oh, yeah.
of June, July.
It's
and
huge.
then
They do it
summer
perfectly
heat,
for
it's
them.
like right perfect,
Yeah.
and there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
The library has events during the summer, though.
What's that?
I
Yeah.
said the library has events.
Yep.
Okay.
Last Christmas light competition?
Yeah, so we had a neighborhood Christmas light competition this past Christmas time, and we had some judges go around to judge everybody's houses that kind of submitted their house to be judged. And I was just wondering if you guys would be interested in becoming part of that judge panel, in a sense, to kind of help give your vote on what house you think is the best lit or that sort of thing for next year.
I'm involved as long as there's categories.
Categories.
There are, you have to have Christmas lights.
Yeah. Are you talking like Eat It Joe lights or the ice?
No, I know where he's going with this one.
You do?
I know where you're going with this one. I know
There's
where you're going with
categories,
this.
the most lit, the most themed, the most whatever. 3 categories, 3 places.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're gonna have people going, my house is better than that junk. It was incandescent. I got LEDs. I mean, that's what happens. You don't want to.
No, you're on the right track.
But it's fair. I mean,
Okay.
he might know a person is like, yep, I'm voting for that house. 'Cause I know.
No, I'm always
Well,
fair.
No,
to
I would be involved.
I'll be involved.
I would. I think
All right.
that sounds like
My
fun.
house is the best.
It's right up
Everybody
Katie's
has to
alley.
vote for it.
Yeah.
Kat
Joe-
lives down the street, she
Yeah,
sees it.
yeah, his
My
house is
lights
very
are
nice.
perfect all the way across my gutter, trust me.
I do believe that, because he's kind of mean.
He is anal. We know that already.
A-type all the way.
I was trying to be nice. I said kind of.
Yes. And Halloween.
And Helen,
Before Dan had left, we had
Only
talked
imagine.
about each commissioner, at least being involved in one or more programs for the year. So, yes, that would be, I
To
won't
continue
speak for
that?
everyone, but yes, I think everyone
Yes.
would be fine with taking something,
All right.
Yes.
getting
Wonderful.
involved in some way.
while we're in that category, and Kathy was talking about what the kids are involved with, and I hear Minecraft and such, that was 3 years ago for Carter. But the kids move through stages. What's hot right now for, let's just say 9 to 24, is TikTok. Is
Oh,
anybody here from the TikTok already? My daughter is obsessed, and what
Yes.
TikTok is,
yes.
it's a short skit. Some of the songs are inappropriate. Some are friendly, and they do these little dance things like in front of the thing, and it's a 30-second video. And then it's published, and people can see it. I can show anybody that would like to see TikTok. If you have a TikTok off, like somewhere where you can have the kids come in and they know these songs, and whoever gets them perfect, because they're choreography is what
Yes,
I'm looking for.
yes.
Okay.
If they get the choreography correct, they advance to the next stage on the next song.
Oh, that sounds
I'm
fun.
telling you, you would have kids coming in droves.
Oh my gosh, it would be so
What's
crazy.
it
I was just sitting here thinking
TikTok,
about
it's
it
an
right
app.
now.
It's an app?
Yes, it's like a music.
TikTok,
app.
it's some of it's vulgar.
I won't let
don't
my
get me wrong.
6-year-old have it yet, he's not there yet.
Yeah.
Look, I
So it would be
created an
older.
account, and my username is Dad Policing.
My
Because I wanted to monitor my dog. I wanted to monitor my dog.
I watch everything.
I didn't finish that.
I watch everything.
That's nice for the older kids, there's always that gap
Yes.
there where people
Yeah.
complain that there's
Sure.
not anything for young teens and.
I'm trying to find one that's appropriate.
Yeah, that one wasn't not going to be. Oh, my God.
That wasn't that. He was
All right,
joking
any
around.
other comments or questions regarding, Joe, stop it.
Man.
Any other comments or questions regarding programs and what we just went over? Communications and upcoming events. Okay, moving on. Open discussion. Kathy, would you like to start?
I'm good, thank you.
This is actually something that was stolen off one of the threads that you created regarding the city.
What?
What?
About just asking what would be what would people
Oh,
like?
yes, I remember
I
that.
think it was,
I'm just always curious to know what my
What
fellow
would you,
residents-
no, you posted, you said, what
Yeah.
would you like to see in Garden City?
yeah.
Yes.
It was just a very simple, it was
Yes.
a great question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots and lots of people came back and answered stuff on there.
Yeah, I was happy.
Yes, they did.
Did you take notes?
So one of the things
Yes,
that
they
I
did.
noted on there was there was somebody who said, and I think the reason why it stuck with me is because it's very simple, is the concrete chessboards, the table and chair concrete
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
It's very simple. And my 16-year-olds and my 10-year-olds, whatever, absolutely play
Okay.
chess out there. It's just something, especially, doing little chess tournaments, checkers tournaments.
Sure.
I think it's a great idea just to get other people just to sit down. Again, because it's the way I think, is I'm not the sports guy.
Sure.
I like the dog park and the checkerboard, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Something different for sure,
Yeah,
there's
it's
nothing
just-
around.
Or what are the games that are hot for the kids right now? Because it's probably not Othello, it's not Monopoly.
Well, that's why you do
You know
very
what I'm saying?
simple,
Yeah.
like
Right.
a checks, like like they do in New York or Chicago.
Chinese checkers.
Well, chess
Yeah.
wouldn't be simple to me.
Well, checkers.
I'm sorry.
same
You could do
board.
checkers.
Checkers would be simple for me,
Yeah,
chess
Yes.
would not.
So,
Well,
we can work with yeah.
They also have concrete ping pong
Yes,
tables,
yeah.
and then cornhole they have as
Oh,
well.
cornhole's
There's
That's
always
true,
good.
yeah,
cornhole.
I've seen that, yeah.
And you can get those customized to where you have like your logo put into them, like your Garden City logo or your Parks and Rec logo. And then they also have what's the one with soccer? Foosball.
Mm.
They have foosball tables now that are in
Really?
concrete. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, the variety is out there for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll definitely make notes of that.
I just think, and one of the things I was discussing as well is that some of these things can be made by, we can, so I know in the past, community service people who have volunteered their time to either the Maplewood Center or other areas in the community.
Mhm.
There's some really crafty, very handy people that have put their talents to use.
Mhm.
And, trying to utilize some of those, people who have that type of craftsmanship and workmanship would be awesome, and just really creative ways as well.
Sure.
So I don't know, something to think about. The other thing that I wanted to bring up was for Helen Park. I was also asked over the week if we could do a butterfly garden. The person who had asked me about that was somebody who said that they could get a grant for installing a butterfly garden there.
Okay.
Which, again, I think would be awesome, and it's simple. It would also help with noise reduction from in the neighborhood, for anyone who's playing at the park, just because it's sound barrier.
Sure.
It might even help with the area for flooding. So,
Okay.
so I don't know if we.
Reach out to the garden club too. 'cause
I was just
they
wrote that
do-
down. I
you know,
just
they
wrote
do
that down,
things.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, you remember?
Yeah, so I mean, that's something that I've started like 7 or 8 community gardens, so I mean, it's something definitely that I would take on as well, so.
Okay.
Especially if it's just a community, like neighborhood, butterfly garden.
Sure.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's really cool.
It's a
like-
great idea.
And you probably don't have to go out and buy this stuff, because from what I understand, when you start it, you can use an existing plant. and
Not,
create
you
from
can't,
there.
not the butterfly bush though. The butterfly bush you
I
have
don't
to
know about
buy.
the bush.
The bulbs and stuff like that, most people either,
Right.
could
You
make
get 'em
sure
donated.
that's-
You just split them.
Yeah, I'd be pretty easy.
Go to Barson's?
I'd spend $20 too to,
Right.
grab,
Buy a plant.
seeds and stuff like that.
All the
Okay.
women from the garden club, if they bring something.
Yeah. So we just want to be careful, that we're thoughtful about, attracting a whole lot of bees maybe next to the houses. I don't know.
Right.
It's my own maybe downfall to it, but it would be
Gotcha.
a sound barrier though.
The honeybees, you're fine. Honeybees don't bite.
Really don't.
Do what?
Honeybees don't bite.
They just
Anything else, Rob?
Make me die. No, it's all.
I'm good.
Okay. I'm just excited to see where Parks and Rec is gonna go. I'm hopeful. And that's all I have.
Okay.
I would like to say, at least from my feelings on the commission, welcome.
Thank you.
I share Katie's good thoughts, and I'm excited about just the suggestions that you've brought, things that we've talked about before, just different activities that look like are going to come into fruition. So I'm excited for the future. Very, very excited. So
Wonderful.
if you need anything, call us.
All right. Thank you.
I just have 2 things. One is wondering if we could get a date for a youth sports presidents meeting in February.
Okay.
And the second is, I'm not sure who knows, I meant to send out an email about this, but a few weeks ago, we've had some people that were driving all over Manor Park. The first incident happened right before Christmas. in which it was the worst I've ever seen it. Driving, along the side of the back part of the field. It was on the field. The tire tracks did go on the field. DPS was out the day after Christmas and did the repairs. Completely thankful for that. About 3 weeks ago, I had someone call me about 11 o'clock at night and said a car was stuck in the middle of Manor Park, or Manor Field. The police had arrested him. It's the first time that anyone has been arrested for the damage of our soccer fields. Completely worse than the first time. A police report was made on the first episode that they did that. They ran into one of the benches and left car parts. The second time was, 3 weeks ago when this happened. The guy was arrested. He does have a court date, which is the 18th of February at 9 o'clock in the morning. I've asked Gibbons to be able to come and speak on behalf of the soccer club. The damage that was done, we start soccer the end of March, and we have hundreds of kids that use those fields. They actually went through the center part of the goals. I'm not quite sure if there's any damage to the bottom of them yet. I know Mark was out there and Joe was out there, but I'm not sure exactly if the damage was done. But I do know that it was really bad. I hope, and I know that, I talked to Mark and Joe a little bit about it. I hope that this person that is getting charged with that, it was, what was the charges? There's 2 of them.
Malicious destruction, and the other one was reckless driving.
I just hope that
Which is worse.
this person has to pay for repairs, in which I also wanted to ask the chief if the judge has pictures to show, has proof to show that what the fields do look like, and find out from DPS what the costs are for repairs. If we can get that to the judge ahead of time, or prosecutor, and just have that information.
I would think that would go to the prosecutor, and I believe Tim has that.
Okay.
I did talk to him a little bit tonight about it, and he said that he believes DPS was out and fixed a lot of it.
Yeah.
The second damage, which was
Right.
a lot worse, he thought they had been out there. I went by tonight, but I wasn't going through the swamp,
Yeah.
So was this again after?
Yep.
Because we talked
Oh,
about
yeah.
it at the last meeting,
No,
remember?
this was after.
So this would be the
2 more
third
times.
time?
2
No,
more
Wow.
times.
no, we did talk about it the last
Yes.
meeting,
Right.
but it
But-
it was not Manor
It was
Park.
Rotary.
No,
It wasn't
No, it wasn't.
Rotary. It was the fields at Maplewood.
Oh, Maplewood, yes.
The fence
Oh,
is
is that
down
what it
there,
was?
Yes.
Okay.
and
Oh, that's
Okay.
right.
somebody
yes.
did go through
Yes,
there
that part-
again,
That part is still broken
because all
up.
that was seeded
Right,
and
right.
everything,
Yes.
and
And
they
there's
went through it
tracks
once,
there.
and then they went through it again, and
Yep.
they'll probably end up going through it another
Yes. So
time.
they have gone
Before
down
the fence
through.
gets put up.
So
They've
I,
gone
The
through
fence-
Rotary, but
that
not
fence should be going up
bad.
pretty soon.
and my question is, how do we stop this from happening again to Manor, to Rotary? I know has the boulders.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, they're still going up and over the
Yeah.
boulders.
We're
I-
not-
And a
we're not
motorcycle
gonna-
can
we're
go
not gonna
right
do
between them.
boulders. We're looking at putting up some fencing
Yeah.
Where, at Rotary?
at
Yeah.
Rotary and at Manor.
Oh, really?
I think,
Rotary might be a little tougher, but Manor for sure, something to keep.
yeah.
It would be nice to fix this once and for all.
I
Well, I'm
just-
just
I just-
sorry to
Oh.
see
I
that.
just
and
want-
then-
Dealing with it.
This person
Those
not
lots
to just
were
get off
supposed
with
to
just having
stay.
community service. That's my biggest thing. Like,
Well-
what can
Right.
we do to make sure that doesn't,
I know
this-
you'd like to see him to be able to pay it, or pay something towards it.
No,
Right.
insurance.
Well,
So
I
you
would-
can
I would
send,
assume his insurance
Yeah.
is on the hook for all that. If he gets found guilty of the reckless driving, from what I understand, he's a younger guy. That's 6 points, and I think with his age, he'd probably lose his license for a while. which would probably affect his parents and stuff monetarily for the insurance and stuff. So, not to mention, you know, whatever else comes of it, you know, whether community service or, you know.
Joe had some good ideas about that, having this guy.
Justice Center.
I mean, because it happened to the ball fields too.
Yeah.
Oh, did?
Well, I think you gotta make them pay for it somehow, so it gets a message out that
Right.
you don't wanna be the one who gets caught next time, because the punishment may not be the same, it may be more severe next
Well, we
time.
caught the kid it happened at Moeller. And he actually lived around the block from me, and Bruce Shippey was newly appointed to the community, and he went over and talked to him, and it hasn't happened again from him, but his cousin, well, maybe not.
Right, if there's no discipline, then
Well, unfortunately, it's a criminal case, so it's up to the judge.
Right.
We can say, you know, throw
Yeah.
him in jail for 6 months, but
Yeah.
that's up to the judge and the prosecutor and, you know,
Yeah.
legally what they can do. I would say, not being a lawyer, any kind of damage you cause in an accident or, you know.
you should
your
be
own fault,
responsible monetarily.
Your insurance, at the very least, is responsible. And then, you know, it goes from there. Obviously, if you get points, your insurance is gonna be up and stay up for a long time. You know, I mean, but as far as anything we can do, we can give them the pictures that we have. You know, I'm sure the detectives have plenty, and I'm sure they have, you know, they wrote them up for everything they could, and I'm sure they'll get that to the prosecutors, and they know pretty much how the community feels about that. So, you know, it'll be up to the judge on that part, but as far as finances, we'll probably go after their insurance company to pay for damages, and like I say, the city's looking at doing something within a reasonable cost
Fake turf,
to keep,
Gallanter.
bubble.
yeah, to keep vehicles off these fields. But I mean, you know, it's, you do that and you'll find a dirt bike that'll come through there at some.
Well, see, that's the whole
You know,
thing.
so I
You're
mean-
you're not gonna stop
Right.
it completely.
And that's why we put the boulders up at Rotary, and you know what, like, you know, a
That has
motorcycle
helped.
fit through there,
That's
you know,
helped.
it's
We've had
still,
a
they're
lot
still
less
doing
That
it.
helps that helps the four-wheelers, but the guy on the
Right.
motorcycle, you're not gonna stop him.
No, but I mean, you know.
Unless there's a fence he's gotta hurdle.
Right. And
I'm
even
gonna give
if it
him
doesn't
credit,
work
it was a
Rotary.
Jeep, but it was a Kia Maxima. Seriously, you know, four-wheeler and a four-door sedan. No wonder you got stuck.
So anyways, yes, it is being looked at, so.
So you take care of that for me, okay?
There you go.
Anything else, Jim?
That's all I have.
Well, you know, I was at a place in Georgia called Billerica, a small town like Garden City, small, and they have summer concerts. I think that'd be something that we should do, you know, like a summer concert. They had different themes, like country, rhythm and blues, jazz, you know, they had it. It was pretty smooth.
Doesn't the Business Alliance do summer concerts?
Yes.
One, music in the.
One.
Yeah.
They do one, but we're trying to get more in there.
Yeah.
It's a cost issue, because I think the last one was, it's
It's expensive.
not a couple hundred.
How does Westland pull theirs off?
They probably make some of their businesses pony up a lot of sponsorship
Okay.
cash.
No, I'm just
That's,
throwing it out there. Do we know how they really pull that off?
no, but I would assume they get sponsorship.
Probably wouldn't hurt to ask them.
No.
Are you talking
They
about
might tell
Blues,
you.
Brews, and Barbecues?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's huge.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, if you remember.
But
back
it's not every month either.
yeah.
No, but we're not saying like every month. We're saying like, why can't we do something like that on a smaller scale?
Well, if you remember
I
back
think-
on the 5-year plan that Doc was in here discussing, he wants to put an amphitheater in the city.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's still in the
It's
works.
still in the talks and in
We
the
need an
works.
indoor facility.
But in the meanwhile,
Just
I'll
kidding.
be in my backyard and drive my neighbor crazy. Not Kathy. Kathy's a great neighbor. Anyway.
Thank you.
She already said you drive her
Any
crazy.
other thoughts, Robert?
You and your anal lights.
Tommy? Yeah, of course I got something to say. I wasn't here at the last meeting, obviously none of us were, but the meeting before that I was not at as well. Everyone knows I run the Kerwin Classic at the end of April, April 24th through the 26th. You can add that on the upcoming events. last year we were capped out at 54 teams. I had no more field capacity. Ironically, this year I sold out the second week of December with 58 teams. 7 weeks. That's how many teams are coming that want this tournament. It's gotten in 5 years or 4 years completed, this is the 5th year, that much regard. So it's something that's gonna keep building, but I'm screaming with 58 teams right now. I had to reduce 2-hour time limits to 1 hour and 45, and they're jumping every 2 hours. So anybody that's in the area around that time in April, I don't know if anybody went through last year, but go through City Park or Moeller, just drive through and see how active it is. You're talking 58 teams times 12 times 2 parents, and add some cousins and aunts and uncles maybe in there, you're looking around 3,000 people over 1.75 days.
Do you have any like food vendors or anything that come?
This year, City Park, because there was no concession stand, we did have our own last year. We put a tent up, took it down, and kept running hot dogs back and forth with warmers. I'm eliminating that this year. I'm bringing my camper. I'm going to sell hot chocolate and coffee because April's perfect time for that out of there. We're going to rent a machine that can distribute cups quick. And then I'm getting a food truck. We had the field day at City Park, or at Moeller last year, and she had a couple food trucks, and the one that stuck out was some hot dog truck that had like Polish dogs and all that stuff. So I'm gonna allow just one food truck to go this year. And they of course know if my stiff arm is 20%, I'm watching your line. You don't wanna give a fair kickback, then you're not coming back next year, because they're gonna make money. Another lady reached out to me, her son's on one of the teams that's coming in the 12U division. She makes jewelry, and she'll stamp, you know, like their baseball logo on it, write their name and like their jersey number. It's her business. She's local. She actually Garden City works the kids out of Livonia team, but they're playing in Garden City. So she sent me a message and asked if she could come in. I said absolutely. She said we'll give something back to the association if she does.
You said 20%, right? And you'll be
No,
watching the sales.
I didn't with her. I mean, it's different categories.
He wants
She's
40 from her.
giving memorabilia to the kids, you know, for the tournament. I like that. So, but it was just impressive that it sold out in 7 weeks. And there's a waiting list. Like
For next year already.
No, for this year, they want in still. They're sending me, I get an email again today. Like, what do I gotta do? I wanna sign up. They're coming from Midland, Weberville, Lake St. Clair, Monroe. So that's kind of the.
So there's no
outside.
chance of getting any extra times or any extra fields?
Not unless we can come up with another portable baseball field somewhere. And as is, I just got notification today, the high school has a doubleheader that starts at 11 and then 1 o'clock, and I need the field at 3:30, the way my schedule's made right now, and that's like pushing the limit. So, I mean, if I have to, I go back and I reduce their time slots to 1 hour and 45, and that would be 14U division. So I can't go any further up from 14U, and I can't add any more. I mean, I thought 54 was it until I went, okay, we'll go 1 hour and 45 minutes, which is kind of standard. But that only gives us 15 minutes between each game at 11 fields to drag and chalk them before the next teams come out. So I got a lot more volunteers this year, so I'm not gonna be getting any more gray hair. Probably just be sleeping in my camper with cognac after the first day's over, and the second day's over. And then Monday I'll call off sick at work. It's undertaking, but it's fun. And you know what? I'm not complaining about it because I absolutely love doing it. I do. I
You
love
thrive
seeing-
on it.
I just love seeing people coming to the city of Garden City and something for the kids to do. And I mean, it's only one event. It's only in April. I wish I could do it more. I wish I could do it 3 times a year because I know I would fill it. But I thoroughly enjoy doing it. It's fun. And it's named after Jim Kerwin, who passed away, former councilman. I got the family's blessing to get Kerwin Classic in the 2nd year of it. So, and the other thing is you can add to the events is GCYA opening day is May 2nd this year. Saturday, always the first Saturday. We do the pancake breakfast. It's at Berger School again. It's 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's $5 for adults. It's unlimited pancakes, sausage, and orange juice or water. Kids are $3, and like sometimes they just let them in free. Pause will be at opening day. Pause has been a really big hit for us. I'm Pause escort, and it's amazing how many kids you have to say don't touch that tail. And you gotta give them a sideways look, and then they look at you like I'm not touching the tail. But they all go after the tail, so you gotta cover Pause 6 non-stop. But it's great. If you guys get a chance, go out to opening day. Mark's been there every year. He's had to catch and field out of the dirt when the mayor was the before the plate. No, he's there through good, but.
Bounce up and hit him in the face.
Yeah, Mark backed himself and he actually stopped it, so it didn't go anywhere fast. Well, yeah, I mean, you see, there's a lot of people that are opening day too. It's, I would say about 2,000. You'll see it this
It's
year.
full house.
It's full. Parking's crazy. People start calling or parking in front of my house. Cops are just, they don't even pay attention. It's over with in an hour, so just, deal with it. So anyway, that's pretty much all I have. And,
All right.
Do you have anything for open discussion, and then you?
I was just informed that the pictures were delivered to the courthouse today.
For the fields?
Mhm.
Okay,
right.
somebody like to make a
Motion
motion?
to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I just did.
I'll second it.